Building a billion-dollar empire is easy. Spending it into the ground, even easier. But what happens when ambition turns into delusion? When hype overshadows reality? The rise and fall of WeWork is more than just a business story. It's a masterclass in what not to do when chasing success. Let's break it down. In 2010, Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey set out to reinvent the workplace with WeWork, pitching it as more than just a co-working space. It was a movement, a capitalist kibbutz where freelancers and startups could share desks, ideas, and, well, overpriced kombucha. Investors ate it up. With sleek office spaces, beer taps, and an influencer-worthy aesthetic, WeWork became the go-to spot for millennials who wanted the startup life without the garage. But Neumann wasn't just selling office space. He was selling a dream, and thanks to his unmatched charisma and SoftBank's bottomless wallet, WeWork's valuation skyrocketed. By 2016, WeWork had raised billions, and its valuation soared. Investors, particularly SoftBank and its visionary CEO Masayoshi Son, saw WeWork as the next Uber or Airbnb, an industry disruptor poised to redefine the workplace globally. Son famously encouraged Neumann to think bigger, urging him to chase a vision unencumbered by financial constraints. What followed was an unprecedented cash burn, an expansion into questionable ventures like WeLive, a co-living experiment, and WeGrow, a private school, and an unchecked belief that WeWork was destined to be a $100 billion company. By 2019, it hit an eye-watering $47 billion, which sounds great until you realize they were also burning $219,000 every hour. That's not business, that's a financial arson case. Despite hemorrhaging cash, Neumann insisted WeWork wasn't a real estate company but a tech firm, because nothing says tech like renting out desks. The company's financial filings, however, told a different story. In preparation for its much-anticipated initial public offering, WeWork's S-1 filing revealed a business deeply in the red, with losses outpacing revenue growth and governance issues that raised serious red flags. Neumann's eccentric leadership style also came under intense scrutiny. Reports emerged of excessive spending, including a $60 million private jet, lavish parties, and bizarre corporate decisions. He had reportedly cashed out hundreds of millions of dollars before the IPO, while employees were left holding overvalued stock options. The S-1 filing even disclosed that Neumann had trademarked the word "we" and then sold it back to his own company for $5.9 million, a move that epitomized the self-dealing practices that ultimately led to his downfall. When the company's financials were finally exposed in its failed IPO attempt, investors had a collective wait, what, moment. Turns out, throwing lavish parties, buying a $60 million private jet, and literally selling the trademarked word "we" back to your own company for $5.9 million doesn't exactly scream fiscal responsibility. When WeWork finally attempted to go public in late 2019, the investment community reacted with alarm. Analysts, once dazzled by Neumann's vision, now saw an overvalued real estate company with unsustainable losses. The IPO, initially expected to be one of the year's biggest, was met with skepticism and eventually pulled. In the wake of the failed IPO, WeWork's valuation plummeted from $47 billion to below $10 billion within weeks. The board, under pressure from investors, ousted Neumann, who walked away with a controversial $1.7 billion exit package. SoftBank, which had been WeWork's largest investor, scrambled to salvage what remained, injecting billions more in an attempt to stabilize the company. The fallout was swift and far-reaching. Thousands of employees were laid off, expansion plans were halted, and WeWork found itself in a desperate fight for survival. The company's new leadership focused on cost-cutting and restructuring, but the damage had been done. SoftBank tried to save what was left, but by 2023, WeWork finally filed for bankruptcy. And Neumann? Oh, he's back with another real estate startup, Flow, which has already snagged a massive investment. Because if there's one thing Silicon Valley loves, it's a redemption arc, or making the same mistake twice. WeWork's crash course in how not to run a company proves that vision is great, but delusion is deadly. Growth is exciting, but burning billions like a bonfire isn't a business strategy. So what do you think? Will Neumann's next venture prove he's learned from his mistakes, or are we just watching a sequel to the same train wreck? Let's talk about it in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and I'll catch you in the next video.